Some say Nigeria is broken. They show you only the cracks.
But today, on this day of independence, we ask, what if the cracks were only part of the story?
There is a story buried beneath the chaos, a quiet movement, a revolution of ordinary people. Not the Nigeria you see in the headlines, but the Nigeria rising in the shadows. Every sector tells a secret. Industry, innovation, agriculture, arts. They are not waiting for rescue. They are building their own new Nigeria. This is a revelation of what is crumbling, what is growing, and what is already here. The new Nigeria is not a dream. It is happening quietly, boldly, right now.
A new Nigeria is here.
October 1 Unicom, brought to you by NMDPRA in association with Hamcom.
Mr. President has an 8-point agenda. Agenda 7 speaks to the work of our ministry, accelerate diversification of the economy through industrialization, innovation, creative arts, manufacturing, and digitalization. So if you look at this, once we're talking about how much jobs are created, if there's one sector that can create the kinds of jobs that we expect as a country, is a CTG.
Policy, at the end of the day, must be backed by law. A policy that is not backed by law is not a very good policy, because somebody else can come and change the policy, So part of what we have done together with the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is that we have brought in various experts from all over the world, maritime experts, and we have sat down together and looked at what is best for Nigeria. And we have decided that the major things that we need to do in Nigeria is, number one, automate our processes and ensure they are all digitalized.
Innovation is at the heart of productivity, and productivity is a key driver for long-term economic growth. We recognize that at the Bank of Industry. I became Minister of State for Industry. Mr. President had made available 200 billion for industry, divided into the different categories in terms of nano businesses as grants, in terms of MSMEs, in terms of manufacturers. While the budget was with the National Assembly before it got passed, Mr. President still made another provision of about 500 billion, for BOI.
A new Nigeria is here.
October 1 Unicom, brought to you by NMDPRA in association with HAMCOM.
One masterstroke idea that Mr. President had and he implemented was the creation of Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. And it did not stop there. It now went on to look for a competent and a capable person as the minister. That is His Excellency Mr. Adeboyega Oyetola, CON.
Flutterwave enables 1 million SMBs to scale. Each of them employs 10 people each. That ripple effect is there, right? Government can only do so much, but once they provide the enabling environment, in regulation, in infrastructure, those things are there, it's now the turn on entrepreneurs to go in there, use the enabling environment to create opportunities that can enable and drive growth.
We have developed our own AI transformation roadmap, and we are using NIDA as a test bed to test all this transformation. The idea is we will use NIDA, develop all the guardrails, the guidelines, and a playbook that we'll share with other MDAs to adopt.
we've been engaging internationally on climate finance agenda. We've engaged several multilateral development partners to create a special fund for BOI that we can lend to businesses that are that are trying to adapt to climate and also mitigate the adverse effects of climate. And so far, we've been succeeding.
A new Nigeria is here.
October 1 Unicom, brought to you by NMDPRA in association with HAMCOM.
We saw a revolution that people are beginning to now believe that we can even go to corporate setting with African fashion. We've had so many young graduates that have gone into this business. That's opened door for so many tailors, so many Nigerians to be trained in the areas of tailoring, and by so doing they've been able to earn. And this administration has also opened us to other parts of the world.
We've identified 6 areas that will basically support the entire ecosystem of an enterprise development, from youth and skills, to climate and sustainability, to digital economy and technology, to infrastructure, to gender. You know, all of this are working together, right, to make sure that we create the kind of enabling environment where our enterprises can thrive and where jobs can be created.
We're putting an icing on the cake in 2025 through the official launch of our corporate service, corporate CSR, responsibility program, which we are now driving through a new unit that we have established, and through a new strategy that is anchored on looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 8 focus area and the SDGs, including education, good health, poverty alleviation, creative economy, environmental sustainability, providing clean water to some of the communities. So we want customs to be responsive to the needs of the communities where we operate and to the communities where we serve.
The same hands that guard our borders are also shaping a future built on service,
Clear from Bodogu,
speed, and transparency.
The BOI has created several innovation hubs across universities in this country. I think we have about 15 of them in partnership with several universities. We are in talks to establish many more.
Capital markets follow return. Innovation, in most instances, if it's scalable and impactful, right? This isn't even about altruistic. So an innovation is what the various fintechs have done with allowing people to pay for things in Nigeria and across the world. The impact is more goods and services and transactions are occurring, right? Trading is happening. The end result is financial markets are looking excitingly at these various companies. I mean, many of them have been invested in several rounds. When we become an incubator of innovation, global capital will find us.
So today, government is doing the same thing in education. Government want to digitize education. So we look forward to having more edtech startups. Government is digitizing healthcare. You will see more health tech startups. Government is looking at expanding agriculture. To do that also, to achieve food security, you start seeing innovative solutions through agri-tech startups.
It's very important that we create that enabling environment. As they say, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that is what BOI is trying to do. We must make sure that we build the kind of Nigeria that we want to see, which is why we put together all the plans around our 6 thematic areas in our corporate strategy.
A new Nigeria is here.
October 1 Unicom, brought to you by NMDPRA in association with Hamcom.
I draw my inspiration from the young people that I see around me in Nigeria and in Africa. I'm surrounded by young people. And it's through that I draw my strength. The leaders of tomorrow are becoming the leaders of today.
I just saw this patches where you can send money to someone today, the second we can be choosing on every single day. And that we have done very well. Because of the success we have created, the ecosystem has really grown. Lots of new players are coming to the foreign. Jobs have been created. Fantastic valuations are being achieved. Which job was important that they have actually different cards. Not only have the macro level, at the regional level, there's hardly any Nigeria today that would say that interest rates, the hunts affect their lives, in one shape or form or the other.
We have strengthened compliances through real-time operational monitoring, increased unannounced inspections, and enhanced inspector training to improve oversight capability. Of course, we enforce sanctions on airlines that breached consumer protection rules, including both domestic and international carriers, and compelled refunds and compensations to affected passengers.
That was able to revolutionize fashion Wonderful. In Africa, fashion is ever evolving. There is no end to fashion. In the beginning, God himself displayed that attribute of being a fashion designer by clothing the first man and woman. I try to constantly evolve.
The loans from NELFund cover every Nigerian, regardless of which local government they're from, which state they're from, which region they're from. It's a national program open to all Nigerians who qualify based on the qualification criteria that we have set out. But in terms of whether they come from one region of the country or the other, it's open to them. In fact, students are adults and they sign up for this loan as long as they themselves, as an individual, are not wealthy. In other words, they themselves cannot afford to pay the fees. They are eligible to apply.
So what are the specific projects that you kind of initiated to resolve the power problem in Nigeria?
When it comes to power projects initiation, I will say besides having constructed sizable power plants, we are also in the process to implement a 2 gigawatt solar project across 16 states of Nigeria, which will bring almost 2 gigawatt of solar and more than 500 megawatt hours of storage power, battery power, which will resolve the power problem of 16 states, including giving them night light, and daylight, of course, will come from the grid as well as from the local distribution to the states. So it's a mix and match of the two, with a solar come battery hybrid project, which is under the final stage of its implementation.
We want to achieve 24 hours power supply in Nigeria. How do we go about this?
Solar is the best way to achieve it for now, and this is the best possible alternative which will give 24/7 power. And this will also bring a new era for Nigeria to start with EV.
I'm Jay Peters, the host of the Unicorn docu-series, A New Nigeria is Here.
The new Nigeria is here.
A 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 new Nigeria is here.
No unicorn is born in silence. Now we ask you, what is your new Nigerian story? Share your new Nigerian story. Amplify what's working. Because if we don't tell the story, who will?
A new Nigeria is here.